Okay, so welcome back to UFOs Above Us. This is Matt, and it's been quite a while since I've done a video, but I am still seeing a lot of stuff, and so I thought I'd make a video and share with you one of the recent ones I saw this Sunday afternoon, and I'd just like to share it and let y'all take a look, and would ask that y'all let me know what you think about these. So I'm going to show you each frame of each picture that I took and let you look at it from start to finish. So here's the first picture, and obviously it's blurry, but this is what I started off seeing. I could tell there was some kind of an object, but it was just coming into view, and not just this main central dark object right there, but we also have these little white objects. I don't know if you can see those even, but see how there's two little orbs down here at the bottom? So there's nothing really to see in this first picture, but and there's a couple up here too. Let me show you the next picture. This is the really fun one to watch. Take a look at this. And now I was able to focus the picture, so this central object is in focus, but there's a lot of white orbs around it on both sides. So I'm just going to quickly look at those, and then we'll focus on that central object, and you'll see why here in a minute. So if you notice right here, we've got a triangle of white orbs, and there's nothing really unique about them. They're just round white orbs, but they are in focus. This picture actually I'm very pleased with. I thought it turned out real nice focus-wise. So you can see a series of three of them there. Nothing special, just what we've seen, hundreds of times, or at least I see them all the time, and I know some other UFO people do as well. By the way, Shelley's UFOs is a really interesting one. If you haven't looked at hers, you ought to Google Shelley's UFOs on YouTube, and she sees a lot of cool stuff. So there's the first three that I saw, and then on the other side of it, you'll see three on this side as well. So there's one, two, and the third one's a little hard to see here, but if you zoom in, you can see it. So there's an orb, and then right there is a more clear orb. Just a round orb, nothing special. But the really unique thing about this is when we get to the main object itself. So if we zoom back out, there's the one that's closest to it. You see actually a faint one and this bright one. Let's go ahead and look at the object. This is what it's all about for me, and it was really shocking because it gives me some insight into what are all these white orbs. I still don't know what they are, but look what's going on right here. Again, this is in the skies over North Texas. Take a look at this thing. And if you look, it's got white orbs on. I mean, I don't know if this is some kind of a entity or a craft, but whatever it is, it looks like it has a pair of wings right there, doesn't it? And it's got white orbs sitting on it, 6 of them right there, plain as day. So whatever this thing is, that's where the white orbs come from. And then I'm going to zoom it back out so you can see that that size of those white things matches perfectly with the white orbs in this picture. So there's a white orb right there. You see what size that is, and I'll scroll over so you can keep it with the same size. I mean, it matches perfectly with the white things on this object. So I am curious. I'm going to zoom back in so you can look at it again. And if you look at this object, it's just weird. It's very strange. And it almost looks like there's some kind of a curl right there. My wife said it kind of reminded her of like a butterfly or something with the curled little antennas that stick out. So what do you suppose this thing is? I mean, it's clearly got those white orbs on it, and then it's surrounded with these white orbs. I'll zoom the picture back out. There's actually 4 in this one. There's one up there as well. And then I don't want to ignore one more object in this that I missed till I was studying this to get ready to do this video. There's the main object and all the orbs. Look up here in the upper left-hand corner. There's one more object. Pretty interesting object. I'm glad I didn't miss it altogether. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? So, you could chalk that off as a bird right there that's just really high in the sky, but I've got another picture we're going to look at, and then it looks a little different. So again, before we leave, here's a close-up of this object that I was so excited to get this. I didn't know what to hardly say. I was like, wow, that is amazing. So could it be that these white orbs are feeding off of this or being generated by this? Is it a spacecraft? Is it a living entity that we just don't understand? I don't know. Let's go to the next picture though. So again, if you notice, you've got the white orbs still, and these were taken a fraction of a second apart. So you still got the white orbs in the picture there and white orbs down there. I'm not going to zoom in on those because we've seen them before, but you can see the little object in the corner. And I'll go ahead and zoom in on it so you can see what it looks like this frame. This is the one that really caught my attention. You'd have to be blind to not say that that does kind of look like a spacecraft right there. I think in the movies, The documentaries usually call it Saturn shaped, but that definitely looks like a spacecraft. And speaking of documentaries, I hope some of y'all have had a chance to see the documentary that I was actually having my pictures featured in. It was done by Darcy Weir, and if you haven't had a chance to look at it, it's on uh, Amazon Prime. So take a look at that documentary, and it features some of my pictures. And we're discussing whether I will do interviews for future documentaries that Darcy's doing as well. So if you have a chance, take a look at that, and I hope you enjoy that. It was pretty interesting. My wife and I watched it and enjoyed it. Okay, so, and I'm not trying to do a plug, I'm just, that's what's happening right now. So let's go to the central object though, so we can take a look at it. All right, and what's weird is, doesn't that look totally different than the last frame, which, keep in mind, is only a fraction of a second apart, and this object looks totally different. Now you can still see that there's orbs affiliated with it or attached to it. You can see something right there, and then it looks like orbs here, here, here. But the shape is totally different right there, isn't it? So what is this thing? Your guess is as good as mine. Could it be some kind of a spacecraft that we just don't understand? Sure. Could it be some kind of a living entity that comes in and out of you? Maybe a different dimensional entity, and these things are somehow affiliated with it? Well, it's getting too deep for me, and I really don't know the answers. But I wanted to share the pictures with you just to say, isn't that interesting? So there's the second frame. And again, there's a lot of orbs there. If you can see these, there's even something tying them together. But let's go to the third picture. So this is where it starts going out of focus. And again, these things don't stay up long. I usually have only a second or two to photograph these things, and it's very difficult to get them in focus and do that quickly. So for every picture that I have that's worth looking at or sharing, there's hundreds that I take that don't come out for whatever reason. They're blurry, I move the lens, whatever. So here's the third picture. And again, whatever this thing is takes a totally different shape there. And you can still see one white orb or something going on there, but now you can kind of see those two wings or whatever they are off of it. And I guess this is the front, because you can see the little antenna or whatever that is, and it's kind of V-shaped, and it looks like it might have some kind of propulsion unit back here at the back. See that white right there? But it still has the white things around it like it did in the others. You can see some up here. Nothing special about them. They're just, white round orbs. But let's look up at the top left and see if you can still see that object up there. And oh, sure enough, you can. So here's the third picture, and take a look at that object at the top. Isn't that interesting? So again, I don't have answers for anybody here. All I'm doing is sharing what I find, encouraging others to do the same. But I would ask a favor of people who've listened through to the end of this. If you do enjoy my content, hey, I could use some encouragement on that. Let me know that you're enjoying it. Maybe give me some comments on what you think these things are, because again, I don't know. I'll show you the fourth picture too. That's where it goes out of focus. So again, it was pretty brief. These things come in and out of view. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they got there, but I do know that they don't fill the boxes in we're used to. They don't appear to be drones or airplanes or birds or insects or any of those other things. And they have a lot of characteristics that are unusual. So for UFOs above us, this is Matt, encouraging like I always do. Hey, keep watching those skies. And obviously, let's share your results. Together, we're stronger than we are apart.